growing up, and we all have little ways we like to knock ourselves, something we know that would kind of keep us from what we want. For me as a kid, I was romantic. I've always wanted, girls, right? Just common sense. Always wanted a girlfriend, etc. But a knock I always had to give myself, seemingly, no matter what, that was in my head was that I was boring. When I thought about myself, what if I added someone to my day, right? What if I had someone who was this interested in me? How would I appear to them? And the answer was always going to be boring. And in truth, I wasn't boring. Clearly, from my perspective, I was doing a lot. But from the other perspective, that's how I viewed myself. And that might be how you're viewing yourself right now. If you're really trying to engage more and you're really trying to get out, that might be a knock you've always had. You're kind of boring. I think it's a popular knock people have on themselves. So this is how you can be less boring. This is how you can, without a doubt, go from just an option, and someone said, just a boring little option, to a priority. One thing for sure is have a lot going on. Motion, hobbies, etc. What I mean by this is too many people are trying to invite people out to things and etc. But in all reality, now you're putting all this mental thought together on what you'll do, where you'll take her, how it will go, etc. What do you have to act like, etc. No. When you already have everything going on and you're just adding someone to it, bro, that's the best. If I was already gonna go out bowling and I texted her, hey, I'm gonna go here, yada, would you like to join me? What it already sounds like is, I already do this. I like this. You can join me though. Like it sounds like I'm inviting her in on something that I already do. It sounds like emotion. It sounds like emotion doesn't have to be just money making. Emotion can be just having things going on, things that correlate to what you enjoy, and it's just enjoying life as a whole. Because that's what money is, right? Is a key to enjoy life more as a whole. So that's what motion is a key to enjoy life more as a whole. Hobbies are another thing. One thing that I had in my favor that I didn't realize is that I had a lot of hobbies that made me more interesting. Like for one is piano. In my head, it's just a black and white keyboard. But in someone else's head, it's freaking Edward from Twilight playing a sonata to them. You never know what can be interesting to someone. I'm not saying pick hobbies that are solely just for showing off, but pick hobbies that you're interested in, and don't be afraid to have hobbies. Don't be afraid to have things that you're dedicating time to where you can share them with someone in some way, to where you're improving yourself. Those things can be interesting to someone. So when you look in the mirror and you think to yourself, I don't really have much going on besides, school and work, you are actively agreeing to make yourself boring. Because now that you've bagged this girl up from work, what's going to happen now? You're going to take her out? What's going to happen after that? Past sex, past everything, what's going to be there? Nothing. It's going to be quite boring. So have hobbies, have motion. Second thing, and I love this saying, you need to go deep, not wide. And when I say this, I mean too many people, especially when they hear the whole have hobbies and motion, etc., yada, yada, things going on, you start wrapping yourself around too many different things and you become spread so thin and you're not exceptional at any of them, like none. You do karate, you do this, you do piano, you do poetry, you do fencing, sword fighting, etc., axe throwing. And meanwhile, you're like a novice at all. You suck at all, but you're engaged in all. None of it's impressive. It would be okay if you just had 2 things you did, but you were generally incredible to watch doing it. So you want to go deep into something, not wide into everything. Another thing you could take from this saying is also, too many people, when they talk and they conversate, it's too wide. Like generally a common question that I don't like to say, and I really try and get away from saying, is how are you doing? What response are you going to get back right now if someone texts you that, how are you doing? What's the first thing that comes up in your head? I'm good. I'm all right. Different variations of that most likely. And no conversation was really had. If I'm truly asking you how you are, right? It can be deeper. I can ask you something more personal, right? If I want to know how they're doing, what will I generally ask? Oh, how she's doing. Yo, how's your mental health been with this and this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or I know this is happening. How you doing? I know you're like getting into fitness. How are you dealing with this and this and this? And I'll get a general answer. First of all, it already showed that I care because I'm being specific. But another thing is I'm more of a specific rundown answer, something that kind of forces someone to reply more. And some people might not even like that if they're super antisocial, but for those that you're conversating with, they're gonna remember. Why? Because you're coming across as someone who is asking them things and making them show off a side of themselves or making them reveal more of themselves than they normally have to because of how deep your questions are. Something that I was thinking about the other day is that generally, like, how deep of questions do I ask with people around me? Have I ever asked my mom, what was it like to raise me? Have I ever asked my mom, how did it feel like when she initially found out that she was gonna have kids? Deep, not wide. Instead of asking her, how was your day? Which is also great because some people don't ask that. Right? 3, never be just good for one thing. And when I say this, I say it a lot when I say this. You know what I mean. Or I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Never be just good for one thing. So it's too many guys out here, first of all. I was walking around with cars that are literally leashing them to their financial status because they're never gonna make it out because car insurance and this and bills. You're leashing yourself to their financial status. So that's for one thing, it's fake motion. For another thing, that's all you are, right? You come to work with your nice car, etc., but that's pretty much all you are, especially if you have work. You most likely are not too much of anything because half the time with work schedules, at least 9 to 5 these days, you don't get to do much. It's very hard to make your own personal flow of things that prioritizes yourself and your own personal goals, and etc. So never be just the car guy, never be just the guy that does car dates, never be just the guy that likes movies, never be just a pothead, etc. You want to be a guy that can appeal to multiple facets of her fantasy. And when I say this, I mean, you can like cars, right? You could have a car, but it shouldn't be your personality, bro. And you could go to the gym, it shouldn't be your personality. You can play piano, it shouldn't be your whole personality. You can love wine, but you shouldn't just be all day, I'm sipping wine, I'm a wine taster, etc., aficionado. Like, no. Have multiple things that you can be, different types of guys you can be for different type of occasions. And a certain formal occasion, I can be Mr. Mr. Intellect, hyper intelligent, speak calm, qui suave, talk, tell them what I'm interested in. Talk about my theories on the world and time travel and et cetera, yada yada. And then some other occasions I can just be completely wacky. Or I can be just complete meathead and just talk about this, health, etc. Be able to be more than one person. Don't just have one thing that cripples you to a certain identity. It's basically what I'm saying. A 4th thing, don't allow your discipline to rule you. Too many people, they're literally sitting here, bro. They're sitting here after like a whole month of successfully not masturbating, successfully not eating trash, successfully working out, and their friend asks them to come out and join them. You don't have, you might not even have to drink. Just come out and join them, have fun. They miss you, etc. No. But they're generally like friends that you care about, and you're saying no. What are you doing? This is what life is about, bro. This is what life is lived for these moments we make with people. At the end of the day, the money can't go with us. And if there was some other place beyond this, you wouldn't want to bring the money with you, but you probably would want to bring your friends, wouldn't you? So treat them well. Treat yourself. Go out. Don't just be caged to your discipline. All right, I've been to the gym. This and this, my schedule's been locked. I'm going to have a shorter workout so I can meet up with my friends here. Or I'm going to not go today so I can do this. Or I'm going to take her to this. or I'm gonna drink right now because I'm not an alcoholic, Cody. I've been drunken in this while. Let me just, for this one night, have fun. You can get back to work tomorrow. But for this one night, climb off your discipline high chair and enjoy yourself. What's all that discipline for? What's all this self-improvement for? If you can't at least show it off, go out with the people, bro. Walk among them. Jesus. So this is how you be less boring. When you're this type of guy, when you already have things going on, when you're deep, not wide, when you are never just good for one thing, when you can hop off the discipline for a moment and just enjoy the moment, when you can actively think to yourself, when you're with people, what could I do right now that I would love, that would impress me and that would impress her and myself, right? All of this is covered with my one core saying, which is impress yourself. Because when you're generally impressing yourself, you're most likely impressing others. Not that it's for them, but you're most likely not boring. If you're not boring to yourself, then you're definitely not boring in any sense of the word that really matters. So go out and impress yourself. Go out and become a priority. I'll see you, bro.